And today is Monday, February 21st, 2022. Actually, it's Tuesday, February 22nd, because it's 12:16 in the morning. But the previous article was rather short, so I'm going to read this interesting article about Ice Age on Earth. This is part of my daily English reading. The purpose is to learn and memorize some key expressions of English. Here we go. ScienceAlert.com. We have very extensive brush fire there. Nature. 13,000 years ago, a firestorm covered 10% of Earth's surface, triggering an ice age. David Neal, 7th February 2022. At a point some 12,800 years ago, a tenth of Earth's surface suddenly became covered in roaring fires. The firestorm rivaled the one that wiped out the dinosaurs, and it was likely caused by fragments of a comet that would have measured around 100 kilometers or 62 miles across. That's a lot. That's huge fragments of a comet wiped out. As dust clouds smothered Earth, they kicked off a mini ice age that kept the planet cool for another 1,000 years, just as it was emerging from 100,000 years of being covered in glaciers. Once the fires burned out, life could start again. Burnout. The hypothesis is that a large comet fragmented and the chunks impacted the Earth, causing this disaster, said Adrian Malott from the University of Kansas, who co-authored a 2018 study detailing this catastrophic event, detailing hypotheses, fragmented hypotheses. A number of different chemical signatures, carbon dioxide, nitrate, ammonia, and others, all seem to indicate that an astonishing 10% of the Earth's land surface, or about 10 million square kilometers, or 3.86 million square miles, was consumed by fires. To peer back into the burning fires and shock waves of this major event, a large number of geochemical and isotopic markers were measured from more than 170 sites across the world, involving a team of 24 scientists. One of the pieces of analysis carried out was on patterns in pollen levels, which suggested pine forests were suddenly burned off to be replaced by popular trees, poplar trees, a species specializing in covering barren ground, as you might get when your planet has been hit by a series of massive fireballs. Poplar trees, pine trees, pollen, pine forests suddenly burned off. Poplar trees. In fact, parts of the comet that disintegrated in space are still likely to be floating around our solar system 13,000 years later. High concentrations of platinum, often found in asteroids and comets, And just a second, high concentrations of platinum, often found in asteroids and comets, and high levels of dust were also noted the samples analyzed by the researchers, alongside increased concentrations of combustion aerosols you would expect to see if a lot of biomass was burning. Ammonium nitrate and others, biomass, asteroid, comets. Plants died off, food sources would have been scarce, and the previously retreating glaciers began to advance again. The team noted human culture would have had to adapt to the harsher conditions, with the populations declining as a result. Computations suggest that the impact would have depleted the ozone layer, causing increases in skin cancer and other negative health effects, said Malat. The team hypothesized that such a widespread impact of comet fragments and the ensuing firestorm is responsible for that extra bit of cooling known as the Younger Dryas period. This relatively brief blip in the planet's temperature was sometimes being put down to changing ocean currents. Blip in the planet's temperature is sometimes being put down to changing ocean currents. However, the comet hit isn't a completely new idea, even though this recent research goes into a great deal of depth to try and find evidence for it. Scientists have been debating whether a comet impact kicked off the Younger Dryas event for several years now. Not everyone agrees that the data points to a comet strike. The data points to a comet strike, but this comprehensive work offers more support for the hypothesis, as do the ancient carvings found in Turkey in 2017, carvings which depict a devastating impact from the interstellar object. Ancient, 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 ancient. Difficult to pronounce. Ancient. The data points to a comet strike. The impact hypothesis is still a hypothesis, but this study provides a massive amount of evidence which we argue can only be all explained by a major cosmic impact, says Malat. The research has been published here and here in the Journal of Geology. A typo. A version of this article was first published in 2018. So the data, there are several words, expressions that I memorized instantly, such as the data points to a comet strike, a comet, asteroid, hypotheses, hypothesized, a blip in the Earth temperature, a sudden blip in the Earth temperature, ancient carvings, ancient carvings, ancient carvings, ancient carvings, ancient carvings. What else? Glacier, dryas, poplar trees, pine forest, pine forest, pine forest, pine forest. Turkey. What else? Blip. The comet fragmented. Probably a comet fragmented of the Earth in the atmosphere Earth atmosphere, uh, kicked off a firestorm. Firestorm died off. Skin cancer obliterated the ozone layer. So this is interesting find. Not many people agrees to the idea, but the data points to that idea. Okay, popular trees. Just in case, let's check out what the popular trees are. We call it populus. Okay, populus is a genus of 25-30 species of deciduous flowering plants. The family is Salicaceae, native to most of the northern hemisphere. English names variously applied to different species include poplar, aspen, and cottonwood. Okay, poplar, aspen, cottonwood, aspen, cottonwood, and it smells some strange. Okay, the western balsam poplar was the first tree, especially after the rain. It smells of some strange something festering a little bit. The western balsam poplar was the first tree whose full DNA code has been determined by DNA sequencing in 2006. So this was interesting article. Bye bye. I gotta